I would call to order the Village of Westmont Planning and Zoning Commission for June 8th. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Pill?
Here.
Commissioner Van Buren? Commissioner Anton?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas? Commissioner Fleet?
Here.
Commissioner Fidesco is here.
And Chairman
Richard. Yeah.
He's here.
Here.
If you would please all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. While I have you standing, please, anybody that's going to give any testimony tonight, either for or against any item on the agenda, you have to be sworn in. So I swear that any testimony I give this evening shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
I do.
I do.
Thank you. And I would ask at this time if you would silence any electronic devices. Okay, first order of business is approval of the minutes of our May 11th meeting.
Motion to approve? Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion. May we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Chairman Richard?
Yes. Okay, the minutes as printed are approved. Next item on the agenda, old business, planning and zoning, item 11-015, James T. Krause regarding the property located at 405 South Oak for the following. I'm told by staff, Janet, we have not received the information from the petitioner yet.
The information was requested by May 31st. The petitioner did agree to that. However, we received it after that deadline by several days. Our packets had already gone out, as a matter of fact. So we've requested that this item be continued to the July meeting.
I would request a motion to that.
Motion to continue to the next planning and zoning meeting. Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Pill to defer to the next meeting, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion?
Just confirmation, public notice was previously published in the newspaper and given to surrounding property owners. This will essentially continue the public hearing and there will be no new notice. Correct, Shannon?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Chairman Richard?
Yes. Okay, under new business, planning and zoning item 11-021. Glenn and Diane Armstrong regarding the property located at 216 South Linden for the following. A, zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a single-family home on a lot of substandard width in the R3 single-family detached residence district. B, a zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a single-family home on a lot of substandard area in the R3 single-family detached residence district. Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong, if you would please sign in, sir.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm Glenn Armstrong. I'm the current owner of this property. My mother-in-law lived here since 1987, and early last year she went into a nursing home. So my wife and brother-in-law and myself have tried to decide what we were going to do with the property, and what we decided was we were going to build a new residence on the property on our own and sell it to my son-in-law and daughter for them to move into and live here. So, as you read in the petition, the lot is undersized by area and also by width. So I'm petitioning for a variance so that I can build the house on there. All the setbacks will be met. I've talked to both neighbors. I haven't talked to them. I've contacted them both. I spoke in person to one neighbor and left a message with the other one, a written message. Neither one of them is interested in selling me a strip of property to make up the extra 300 square feet. So that's where I stand, looking for approval for a variance. Plans are, the building permit is in the process. The plans are ready to go. I've got a contractor ready to go, so if and when you approve it, we're ready to start construction.
Just so you know, sir, that when you're asking for a variance, you are required to show hardship. And just for the record, I'd like to go over a couple items now. Your lot was platted before any current zoning regulations, so most likely your lot was a legal sized lot when it was
That is my
originally platted.
understanding. Yes.
So the village has changed the codes in the meantime, which means they have inflicted a hardship on you.
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. Does anybody from the public wish to speak on this? Okay, we'll close the public comment. Shannon, I've shown a letter here from Bonnie Erdman.
Yes.
Okay,
We did receive correspondence from a neighbor at 220 South Linden yesterday, which has been distributed this evening to the commission. Is it the commission's pleasure that this be read into the record?
this is not sworn testimony, so counsel, should we?
You certainly have the right to read it into the record, just so the
Shannon?
public knows what was said.
Okay, if you would, please, Shannon.
Certainly. This is dated, I believe it was the 7th. Village of Westmont Zoning Commission. My name is Bonnie Erdman. I live at 220 South Linden Avenue. I'm writing my view on the house being built at 216 South Linden Avenue. I think it's a wonderful idea to improve the property, but I am hoping this will not upset our floodplain, as our street already has a problem by heavy rains. Also on my part and the neighbor next to the property, shading out our properties during the summer. We do not want a totally shaded yard, and as for where it's put, I do not want to reach out and touch my neighbor. If that was the case, I would have lived in Cicero or Berwyn. The house should fit the lot. Signed, Bonnie Erdman. In response to this letter, this application, like any other for new construction, is subject to final engineering in terms of making sure that it doesn't have an adverse impact on the surrounding property owners. In fact, Kim Nickel, our planning engineer's preliminary review comments were also distributed via email and then as well as at the dais this evening. So the petitioner is aware of those and I think is in progress of addressing those, and if the zoning is approved, he would then work through all of those final engineering details.
So all of our existing setbacks are being met?
Yes, all of the existing setbacks are being met. The lot area deficiency is about 320 square feet. The petitioner mentioned the possibility of having acquired additional adjacent land, but all of the lots in this particular block are the same size, and that would actually create a deficiency for one of the neighbors. So this lot is not out of the norm by any stretch of the imagination in this area.
Thank you, Shannon. Commissioner Pill?
Yes, thank you. First question was just a quick comment in response to Ms. Erdman's letter. And I just was going to point out that I believe the proposed house is on the north side of the house, which means that there's going to be very little blocking out or shading of the property, since the sun will travel on the south exposure from east to west. And the second comment with regard to floodplaining, we've been time and time through, new engineering today will certainly not completely correct the problem, but it will at least correct the problem for this lot. So while I appreciate Ms. Erdman's comments, I just wanted to address those too. Sir, first question to you, is the deck sized correctly on the drawings, or are you planning on a bigger deck? It seems relatively small.
Yeah, I purposely had them draw it that way because, yes, we are planning in the future, but I didn't want to have to design and construct a deck with the construction, okay? You know, I have to build whatever is shown on the plans. So as far as that, you're getting to lot coverage, I assume. And as far as that goes, we will show a future deck on there of an appropriate size, of a larger size anyway, and ensure that it still meets the 35% coverage.
Great. And I drove by the area and was taking a look at your plans and things like that, and I just want to compliment you. I think it's a beautiful looking house, and I think it will go in well, and it will enhance everybody's values in that neighborhood, and I wish you luck with it.
Well, thank you.
Commissioner Anton?
I was by there yesterday. Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fidesco?
Those are my questions, so I don't have any additional questions.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yeah, I would echo the fact that my questions have been covered by Commissioner Pill, and wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And as for myself, that I think you're only improving the neighborhood, and I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, since we have a request for a variance, we need a reading of the findings of fact. If we could have that, please.
Criteria number 1, the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. The applicant's lot was platted prior to the adoption of the current lot width and lot area requirements of the zoning ordinance. Without this variance, the lot would be unbuildable and the applicant would receive no reasonable return on his investment in this property.
If you agree with this, please raise your hands. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The applicant's proposed single-family home will meet the 35% lot coverage requirement. Adjoining properties cannot be purchased as they are fully developed with single-family homes.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. A single-family home previously existed on this lot, which was subsequently demolished. The replacement of a new single-family house on this lot will be consistent with the neighborhood, will meet the lot coverage requirements, and will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement. The findings of fact for a variance request are hereby approved. I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees under Planning and Zoning Item 11-021. A zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a single-family home on a lot of substandard width in the R3 single-family detached residence district.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Fleet, seconded by Commissioner Fidesco. Question on the motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Chairman Richard?
Yes. Okay. Since we have another request for a zoning code variance, we need readings of the findings of fact, please.
Criteria number 1, the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. The applicant's lot was platted prior to the adoption of the current lot width and lot area requirements of the zoning ordinance. Without this variance, the lot would be unbuildable and the applicant would receive no reasonable return on his investment on this property.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. Applicant's proposed single-family home will meet the 35% lot coverage requirement. Adjoining properties cannot be purchased as they are fully developed with single-family homes.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. A single-family home previously existed on this lot, which was subsequently demolished. The replacement of a new single-family house on this lot will be consistent with the neighborhood, will meet the lot coverage requirements, and will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement. The findings of fact for a zoning code variance request are hereby adopted. I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees. Item B, zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a single-family home on a lot of substandard area in the R3 single-family detached residence district.
So moved.
Second.
That's motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Fidesco. Question on the motion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes?
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Chairman Richard?
Yes. All right, sir, you have our recommendation for both variance requests, and this will go before the Board of Trustees at a committee of the whole, and staff can tell you when that will be.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Up
it.
to you, sir. For the record, please note that at 7:15, Commissioner Thomas showed up. He is now in attendance.
Thank goodness.
We missed you.
Doc is paid.
Planning and zoning item 11-022, Brian and Sherry Anderson regarding the property located at 421 East 59th Street for the following. A, zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a detached garage over 28 feet in length in the R1 Single Family Detached Residence District. If you would please sign in, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Again, as you might have heard me mention to the other gentleman, since you're asking for a zoning code variance, would you address the hardship?
Yeah, what I want to do is I would like to build a garage and a detached garage on my lot. The zoning analysis that I received states that the lot measure is 117 by 119. It's actually 117 by 191. So that is, the numbers were transposed there.
Although I think the total lot area was correctly stated at over 20-some thousand feet, correct?
It's just over half an acre, right?
Yes, it's just over half.
22,347. I believe that error was due in part because of this original survey
Right.
that was brought in, had a number, so that was incorrect, and the revised site plan showed the corrected number. So the petitioner is in fact correct with the dimension there.
Okay, okay. But we're looking at, our house sits in the middle of the lot and it goes east-west. And according to the Westmont, it says that it's supposed to be so wide and so deep. We didn't want to infringe from a width point of view deeper into our lot. And because of the depth of our lot, we wanted to have it go deeper. So we were building something skinnier but deeper as far as the garage is concerned.
I'm led to believe then that according to village code, you're allowed X number of square feet for a garage, and you're not exceeding that.
No, not at all.
It's just that one of your dimensions is longer than what our code allows.
Correct.
Okay. Is there anybody from the public who will speak on this? Yes, sir, if you would, please. If you'll get up and state your name, sign in.
Already signed in. Edward Del Solar, 425 East 59th Street, to the west, to the east of Brian's lot. My only point here is, I've got 2 points. I've built on my lot in the past, and I have had to follow the zoning dimensions, restrictions, regulations, and what have you. If you vary from those things, to me, zoning has lost its purpose. When I built on my lot, I had to follow those dimensions, and I've lived with them since. And I don't see why others cannot go by the same rules. My other concern is, I know nothing about where this garage is going to be in relation to my lot, and I just wonder what's going to happen with water runoff. I've been battling runoff for maybe 10 years or more. And even last month, it cascaded over a barrier that I tried to put in there, and water washes down right alongside the foundation of my garage. I just don't want to deal with any more water than is coming down there now. And I would just like to make sure that that concern is covered regardless of whether garage is built or not. I just don't want to fight any more than I have already. When I know exactly where this building is going to be and everything else, then that's be another story. I do not know that now, so that's the only comments I can make at this time. Yeah, okay. And, okay, what's it, 8'3" inside the line?
5'3".
5'3"? Okay, I don't have my reading glasses on. Yeah, and this is the end of the blacktop here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, so what's the length this way?
36 this way.
You going 36?
Yeah.
That's the same as I got.
Oh, is that right? See, I just admired yours and I wanted
All right. My 36-foot is farther back. It starts from the back end and comes forward, so there'd be a degree of overlap there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe Josh wouldn't break your windows anymore.
Oh, no, they'd still leave the back window.
Can I presume that you got a variance for your 36-foot garage?
No,
He's
we
counting.
did not have a variance.
Oh,
no.
you're counting, oh, okay.
Well,
Mr. Anderson, one
Yes.
question concerning water
Yes.
runoff.
Yeah.
On the east side of your garage, could it maybe implore you to, if you were to gutter it, the roof, and
The roof's-
exit the water to the south?
The roof is guttered. There's gutters all the way around. Yeah.
Okay, but if you could discharge it perhaps to the south, which would help alleviate his flooding?
That shouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, perhaps we could have Kim Nickel, our village planning engineer, work in that direction with him to ensure minimal impact to the neighbors.
That'd be fine.
Is there anybody else from the public who will speak on this? Okay, we'll close the public comment. Let's start with staff. Have anything?
Nothing further. I think that we covered it's a significantly sized lot. The lot coverage is about 22% here. The way that the structure is proposed, it's meeting all of the zoning setbacks.
Okay, Commissioner Thomas?
I have no question.
Commissioner Pill?
Not so much a question as a comment. You know, over the years, you get to go out and you visit many different properties, and I just wanted to say that this is the kind of property visit that sort of makes me proud to be living in Westmont. I found the property and the house to be so well maintained and beautiful and in keeping with the spirit of how people keep a neighborhood up that I just wanted to compliment you.
Thank you.
I think it's a beautiful plan. I see exactly what you want to do. I think it has the least amount of impact, and I think you're still left with so much property and such a beautiful setting, and it's landscaped nicely and kept up. It's the kind of house I would live in, and that, you know, after seeing these for 6-7 years going out, I have not said that very often, but I just wanted to compliment you and say that you have my support on this, and I really like what you're trying to do and how it fits in with the whole neighborhood down there.
Thank you.
Commissioner Anton?
He's going to try and move in with you, watch out. No, I love garages.
Throwing me out.
I'm throwing you out. Love it. Love big garages, go bigger. I love fences, love all that. So good luck with it. I like to come by and see it when it's done.
Great.
Okay, Commissioner Fidesco?
I'm very familiar with the house because I live about a block away. So go by there almost daily. No, I think the same as far as it's a beautiful lot. I don't think it's going to impact the neighborhood whatsoever. It's plenty of room. And I was going to say, don't those two garages kind of side by side?
Mine will be a little bit in front of his.
forward, but, you know,
But yes.
they'll be pretty much, you know, in the same area.
Right.
No, and I really don't have any other questions or comments. I think it's going to be great.
Great, thanks.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yeah, I think with the discharge into the more open area of your yard, it should take care of any problems, and with our engineers working with it, would be great.
Okay.
And I also might echo Commissioner Pill's comments on your property. I thought it's highly attractive, highly maintained. I wish I could afford it. Okay, we have a zoning code variance request. Could we have a reading of the findings of fact, please?
Criteria number 1, the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. The proposed detached garage will not exceed the 576 square feet maximum established by the zoning code. The purpose of the variance for this extra garage length is to accommodate the indoor storage of the applicant's boat and trailer, which would otherwise be stored outdoors and be visible to the neighbors. The applicant could not yield a reasonable return on this aesthetic and functional improvement without this variance.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The applicant's property measures 22,347 square feet and can easily accommodate the extra length of this proposed garage. Allowing this garage will result in the elimination of an existing shed on the property.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. The proposed detached garage meets the maximum square foot requirement, will be located in the rear yard of a generously sized lot, and will not negatively impact surrounding property owners.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement? All right, the findings of fact for a zoning code variance request are met. I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees, Planning and Zoning Item 11-022. Item A, zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a detached garage over 28 feet in length in the R1 single-family detached residence district.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Fidesco, seconded by Commissioner Thomas. Question on the motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Chairman Richard?
Yes. All right, sir, you have our recommendation for approval, and staff can tell you when you go before a Thursday evening committee of the whole.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, sir. Next item, Planning and Zoning Item 11-0223. Victor Steed regarding the property located at 223 60th Street, Downers Grove, for the following. Zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a front porch with a non-conforming front yard setback in the R3 single-family detached residence district.
Good evening. Thank you all for entertaining my request. As it says in the brief, my home was built in 1936. I believe the setbacks at that time were 30 feet, although on the plat it shows it's actually not quite 30 feet, and the house is slightly skewed on there. So no matter what, even if it was 30, we were not going to be able to do things because it was just short of that. I've done extensive rehabilitation and expansion of my home over the last 18 and a half years since I've bought it. As you may recognize, we were annexed 9 years ago, approximately, 8 or 9 years ago. And also were rezoned 2005 or 2006 to the R3 to allow us to be able to have a little more flexibility in the zoning for the area. The lots are large, unfortunately not pushed far enough back for this instance. When I first bought the home, there was a small porch attached to the front of the home. And at the bottom in the second paragraph down below the first page drawing of the actual location, it left me approximately 19 feet to the property line. Due to the renovations that I've done, that porch was destroyed, demolished, excuse me, and I put in a temporary stairwell just to be able to get me up and down. I think on the second page you can see the picture there, and there's just the original concrete block or concrete pad for the original porch to the home where the front door was in the middle of the home. I've since moved it to the left side and then created that. So what I'm looking to do is actually move about 4 feet farther closer to the property line than the home actually had when I had purchased it.
Okay. Anybody from the public will speak on this issue? We'll close the public comment. Staff have anything?
This is another one of those extremely oversized lots, and as Mr. Steed mentioned, he has the buildings brought up so far to the street side that there's not any additional room that can essentially be gained. The proposed setback would be 15 feet, which is 4 feet less than what the initial porch had. Unfortunately, the size wouldn't be applicable for a code section we have that would allow up to 100 square feet for steps or stairs to encroach into the front yard setback, because it's actually going to be a full porch under roof and much more curb appeal. So that's why the variance is necessary.
Okay, let's start with Commissioner Fleet.
I like the porch, the proposed porch. In driving through the house, through the neighborhood today, not the house.
I've been home.
You better not do that.
That it's variety of construction. In there, where you have some very modern houses that would approach the level of architectural refinement on this porch, and then others that are more indicative of how things were back when they were built. And I was just wondering, just trying to picture in my mind how this would look coming out as far as it did, and then reflecting on the idea that, well, the original one came out that far anyway, that you were built, and you're just taking 4 more feet, is it, than
Which in essence
it was
is-
originally there. And then I started to just see the whole overall plan that, okay, so going back, dialing back those many years, that this gives us a nice upgrade to the house, which you've done in many stages here, and it looks really nice. And I think that this would be a nice cap to your overall project. Are there any, drainage is a big topic here. Is there any drainage problems? Because there's no curbs, there's no...
I sit pretty high on the street. I think there are some issues that you all probably recognize down at the western end of 60th Street, just in about 100 yards from there. And that's a result of all of us upstream, I would imagine. But I don't have any drainage. In fact, there is no culvert until you are west of my home. That's where the culvert, and I don't even have a steel tube. All of the steel tubes to keep the drain culvert going are west of me. So I sit pretty high, and there aren't any to the east of us.
Will this porch interfere with the tree that's out there?
And in fact,
what are you gonna do about that?
both trees that are there will go. One we would like to take regardless. The second one, due to the construction, we do have plans. In fact, I'd like to work with the Village and Parkway, maybe with Streets and Sand or Street Department, to be able to decide on a nice parkway tree for the northeast corner of the property there, because I would like to replace it. I think it would look bare otherwise. So that is in the plan. I'll have to work with the village to do that, and that's something new for us. Without the true parkways and sidewalks and such, we just it's not an understood thing for me.
Okay, no further questions.
Commissioner Fidesco?
Yeah, I really like the design that you're going to pursue here. Driving through the neighborhood, there are a few other homes that are, it's kind of weird. There are homes that are close to the street. There are homes that are set further back. So that, I mean, when this area was built, it was all over the place. So in doing what you're proposing, it really makes the house kind of stand out. I mean, it's going to be a much nicer house. And encroaching a little bit into that zone, I don't think is going to be a problem, because it's really going to make the house look much, much nicer.
I agree. Thank you.
I don't have any further questions.
Commissioner Anton?
No questions, good luck.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes, I think it's a nice addition, and I was a little concerned with how close it was coming to the street, and then in looking, it looks like it's going to be the most forward of any home on the block. I didn't see anybody that would be closer than that, but I still think it's within keeping of the whole nature of that block. It's very diverse as far as the architecture types and styles, as well as the landscaping, and it's somewhat of a treed, shaded type of area. Now, that'll diminish by 2 trees, although I would assume you'll replant 1 perhaps at a later date. But anyway, I think it's going to be a very, very nice addition and help with the entire neighborhood. I wish you luck.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Thomas?
For a minute there, I thought Commissioner Pill was going to want to move in.
Sounds like he's already got a spot, but.
Thank you very much, yes.
I'm a porch person, and that's a gorgeous porch, and it's going to make your house look very nice. I'm 100% in favor of it.
Great, thank you.
That's all I have.
One thing, when you originally bought the front of the house now where it stands, with the foundation, that was the original front of the house. So that, again, any porch that would be put on this would be infringing into the front yard setback as to what is
no matter what I
necessary
put
now.
on. Yes, sir.
Okay. And, no, I compliment you to deny you this, I think would denigrate your property quite substantially. I think this will enhance it very nicely, and I commend you on it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a request for a zoning code variance. May we have a reading of findings of fact, please?
Criteria number 1, the property in question cannot yield a reasonable return if permitted to be used only under the conditions allowed by the regulations in the district in which it is located. The existing house was constructed in 1936 with a front yard setback of approximately 29 feet. The property was annexed into the village in 2006. The proposed porch will replace a previous front porch which contained a 19-foot front yard setback. The applicant cannot yield a reasonable return without this variance, which will allow for an aesthetic and functional upgrade to this house.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 2, the plight of the owner is due to unique circumstances. The applicant will meet the lot coverage requirement with the addition of this proposed porch, and the proposed porch will provide a significant functional and aesthetic upgrade.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 3, the variation, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the locality. The proposed front porch will replace a previous front porch which contained a 19-foot front yard setback, will provide an aesthetic upgrade to this property, and will not adversely impact surrounding properties.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement? The findings of fact for a variance are hereby adopted. Excuse me. I would recommend approval, motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees under Planning and Zoning Item 11-023, Item A, a zoning code variance request to allow the construction of a front porch with a non-conforming front yard setback in the R3 single-family detached residence district.
So second.
And motion by Commissioner Fleet, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Chairman Richard?
Yes. All right, sir, you have our recommendation for approval, and again, staff will tell you when you go before a Thursday evening committee of the whole.
Thank you all.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Next item, Planning and Zoning Item 11-024. Tracy M. Curtis doing business as Sweet Pea Consignment regarding the property located at 41 North Cass for the following. Special use permit request to operate a resale consignment shop in the B1 Limited Business District.
Hello. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to my request. I am actually here to request a special use permit to open basically my children's consignment store, which is a high-end store. I've been running it as a seasonal store for over a year now, and have had a few sales up to date. Basically, I know that per Westmont that this became an issue with having some lower-end type resale type garage sale atmosphere type of places in there. And basically here just to kind of explain that that is not even close to what this is going to be like. I have a bunch of reviews. I'm sure since I'm the last one here, I'm not going to go through all of the reviews. They are actually in the, do I need to turn it on? No.
No, come on. Yeah.
It doesn't fit. That's fine. So basically, I know I'm the last one, so I'm not going to take up a bunch of your time, but basically kind of wanted to just go through and explain how I run things and explain that I'm not having any plans on changing how I run things in the near future. I basically quality control, personally quality control every single item that comes into my sale. Now it will be a shop. And every item I either accept or reject personally. I price it, I tag it, and have had an immense response with people when I've told them that I'm going storefront. I already have hundreds of people in my database and a mailing list, as well as people on Facebook. I'm a huge marketing freak. I've spent hundreds on my marketing and my design. This is basically to show you kind of what this is going to look like. I don't know if Fred shared with you the awning design. That's actually something that we're going to be coming up grant-wise to look at. And my awning is actually going to be kind of a blue color with white lettering, and have beautiful decals on the front of the window. It is basically going to be a resale, but look like a boutique. So I'm hoping that this permit is a slam dunk, basically.
Okay, anybody from the public who will speak on this? We'll close the public comment. Staff care to comment?
The petitioner is very enthusiastic, and we think that she'd be an excellent match for the Central Business District based on her representation of the line of merchandise that she plans to sell. The special use permit request is before you because about a year or so ago, the permitted uses in B1 were revisited. Prior to that, I believe that resale was not permitted at all, and that may be based on some of those previous experiences. And it was the board's pleasure when this was revisited that upper end resale and consignment could be something that would be appropriate downtown. So along those lines, this particular application, other than the special use permit, doesn't have any other zoning matter or problem related to it. The parking need for this use would be 3 spaces. There's a provision of our code that allows for an administrative waiver when there are 3 or fewer spaces required. The situation at this particular property is that it's fully built out with the commercial building. There's a non-conforming home behind it, and then there's the alley, but there is a public lot to the north and then the on-street parking that's available in close proximity.
Mr. Chairman, we might also point out that this applicant came to us with a rather intricate and lengthy business plan, which is usually a good indication too. So I think, I don't know, Tracy, if you want to maybe comment a little bit about the degree to which you've planned ahead with regard to your marketing projections and expenses and the pro forma.
Very detailed person. As I don't know, I saw you had commented earlier on, and I thought that was part of what Commissioner Richard had seen. Yeah, my business plan, my marketing, everything. I'm a very detail-oriented person. So everything had to be up to snuff and right in line. One of the main reasons I started doing the business plan and getting all of this together was basically because I went to go get a small business loan, which everybody said was impossible to get nowadays. Not so much. Got it. I'm just waiting for this. This is the only thing that's holding me up with going and signing the line on that small business loan, and it'll be a done deal. And then I'm going to get started and get in there and start painting. So
the Downtown Development Grant Committee did meet, was it last night, and looked at the awning. The awning design is very high quality with the blue with white lettering, which we think is very appropriate for a children's store of this type. And she did receive a favorable recommendation on her Downtown Development Grant request from the committee, which will be paired with this item and go before the village board, I believe, on June 20th?
The 16th.
16th and the 20th.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Fleet?
So what sort of hours you looking at?
basically closed Monday or Sunday and Monday, open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 4 for now. I have little bitty ones. So eventually it'll probably go either 10 to 5 or 10 to 6. And I'm going to mix up a night in there because I think either maybe the one where we've got possibly on Thursdays with the cruising nights, possibly might be a good night to be out there open, or Tuesdays. One of them is going to be until 8 o'clock at night, so.
No further questions.
Commissioner Fidesco?
I was impressed with your presentation, as far as the business plan goes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I worked a lot on it, thank you.
Very good. I just have a question, because I know when my kids were growing up, they grow out of clothes quickly. And then sometimes they never even wore the clothes. Do you get a lot of new clothes in
Probably
your
about
consignment?
half of the stuff that comes in is new. Which
That's
has
what
tags
I
on it still.
assumed
It's
or
amazing.
thought might happen.
Yes.
So it's
Exactly.
going to be a very good,
Yes.
good business.
I've done a lot of shopping as well as, with me doing these sales, I've actually shopped them. I cannot pay retail for anything. I just can't do it. Everything that's going to be for the store is either going to come from Craigslist, eBay. Some of it has to, unfortunately, come retail, but I'm going to be hard pressed to pay retail for it. But with everything, like you said, they don't wear it, or they wear it once or twice and it's done. It just made so much sense, and I love kids' clothes. I have 2 little ones of my own, 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I started basically just selling theirs and saw how much I can make with selling their stuff and seeing that these parents have all of these closets full of things. So yeah, it's kind of foolproof, pretty much.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Anton?
It's such a good plan, I can't even give you any trouble.
Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Excellent. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Usually, it's been such a nice night, I really want to give someone some trouble.
Give it to Greg.
Too easy, right? That's why I asked, actually, do you guys ever deny anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really? I looked on YouTube. I was telling Shannon before I came just to kind of get a feel for the room and know what I was coming up against. And you guys were all so happy and positive. You the most, actually. Every comment that you had was so positive. I was like, oh, I can do this.
We could change that tonight.
No, please. Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to you yet. No, I appreciate
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Pill?
No real comments other than I wish you the best of luck. I think it's a great location for starting up something like this. You've got the parking right there. That's a great spot. You've got 2 different street accesses and stuff on the corner. And I just wanted to say that I look at a lot of financial plans, and I was impressed with the amount of detail and the 3-year projections and things that you had.
Thank you.
Very, very nice.
Beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yeah, you know your target audience,
Yeah, sure do.
and it's a great group, and it's.
And they're here.
They're right there, And good luck.
Thank you very much.
And I would also reiterate my positive comments of my fellow commissioners that always vote for. You do, of course, are going to generate sales tax revenue for the
Yes.
village? Okay. That's mainly
No, that's
my
a big
concern.
one, right? Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and your business plan that you presented to us is very well thought out, and it bodes well for your success.
Good. So the time I spent on it paid off.
Unfortunately, we've had
Thank you.
a lot of them that haven't put that much thought into it, and they're not around. So I think you'll be around for a long time.
I sure hope so.
All right, since we have a special use request, we need a readings of the findings of fact. If we could have that, please.
Criteria number 1, that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the special use will not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare. All operations will be conducted indoors in a pre-existing tenant space. The applicants will not be warehousing merchandise, will display upscale children's clothing, toys, equipment, and furniture for resale, and no hazardous substances or explicit materials will be sold.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement?
Criteria number 2, that the special use will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of other property in the immediate vicinity for the purposes already permitted, nor substantially diminish or impair property values within the neighborhood. The proposed shop will consist of an upscale retail boutique and will be conducted completely indoors and therefore not adversely affect neighboring properties.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 3, that the establishment of the special use will not impede the normal and orderly development and improvement of surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. The applicant will be located inside an existing tenant space and therefore will not impede the redevelopment of the surrounding properties.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 4, the adequate utilities, access ways, drainage, and other necessary facilities have been or are being provided. The proposed use is located in the central business district, which is adequately served by utilities, access ways, parking, and other necessary facilities.
If you Agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement.
Criteria number 5, that adequate measures have been or will be taken to provide ingress and egress so designed as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. The proposed space measures approximately 800 square feet exclusive of storage and window display area, and there is sufficient public parking and public sidewalks in the immediate area of this proposed shop, thereby minimizing traffic congestion.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. Unanimous in agreement.
And finally, criteria number 6, that the special use shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located, except as such regulations may in each instance be modified by the village board pursuant to the recommendation of the Plan Commission. No variances are needed or requested, and the proposed use otherwise meets the regulations of the B-1 Limited Business District.
If you agree with this, please raise your hand. We are unanimous in agreement. The findings of fact for a special use are hereby adopted. I would entertain a motion to recommend approval to the Board of Trustees, Planning and Zoning Item 11-024A, special use permit request to operate a resale consignment shop in the B1 Limited Business District.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Pill, seconded by Commissioner Anton. Question on the motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fidesco votes yes. Commissioner Fleet?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Anton?
Yes.
Commissioner Pill?
Yes.
Chairman Richard?
Yes. Okay, you have our recommendation for approval, and again, Shannon can tell you when you go before Thursday evening Committee of the Whole.
Thank you very much, all of you.
Best of luck to you.
Start painting.
Thank you.
She's already
It
doing
needs
that.
it.
Does staff have anything?
Fred, did you maybe want to remark on the TIF meeting, our kickoff meeting last week?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, with your permission, just to kind of keep the commission informed, staff, village manager Shannon Malik and myself met with our TIF consultants recently, did a preliminary tour of the area in and around the intersection of 63rd and Cass over to the Van Industrial William Street area, north and south, several blocks in each direction. The TIF consultants are now beginning a thorough survey and analysis of the properties that are involved in this general area to determine if the blight standards that are statutorily required to qualify the area for a TIF district have in fact been met, and they will be working through that and coming back to us with a recommendation as to the advisability of a TIF district in this area. We might also point out that at Monday evening's village board meeting, the Westmont Village Board did approve the list of, I think, approximately 10 individuals for the Comprehensive Plan Advisory or Steering Committee that will be known as CPAC. And Commissioner Pill is among those individuals. We have a very wide variety of individuals from different walks of life and different neighborhoods to represent us well as this process goes through its procedure over the next 12 to 14 months, we think, in rewriting the comprehensive plan for our great village. This will be reported back to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and you will then be charged with making a recommendation as to its adoption to the Westmont Village Board. So we look forward to the involvement of many and varying citizens and business owners and landowners in the coming months as this plan is implemented and executed.
Okay, this is, you said a commission was formed?
This is a comprehensive plan advisory committee acting as a steering committee. A member of the Planning and Zoning Commission is on there. Let's see, a member of the Westmont Village Board. The executive director of the Westmont Chamber of Commerce is on this commission. Shannon, help me out with some of the other names.
Real estate agent in town.
Real estate, property owner in the
Business owners,
downtown.
residents.
Business owner in the downtown.
Okay, is it the area of the Planning and Zoning Board to hold these meetings, though?
Well, we will certainly.
Commission be holding the meetings?
The steering committee will be coordinating the meetings. Feedback will be, of course, provided to the Planning and Zoning Commission, and the comprehensive plan consultants will be have already established a website for the comprehensive plan that will allow all citizens to provide immediate feedback to see what sorts of things are being proposed through the steering committee, and all of this will be reported back in formal form to the Planning and Zoning Commission.
And John, correct me if I'm wrong, but statutorily, Illinois requires that plan be reported back to the commission?
Correct. Well, there's actually, I believe, public hearing that has to be held.
Right.
This is traditionally the forum where the public comes, despite the fact that there's a steering committee that's doing some legwork and research and helping to lay the groundwork for the recommendations with the village's consultant. It ultimately comes back to you, where you would open the doors up to the public and say, okay, here's a draft, here's what we have. You provide your input to the consultant, take the public input, it gets revised as necessary. There may be many, many rounds of those public hearings, or if not public hearings, at least discussions, and Planning and Zoning Commission has an important role in that.
Okay, because the way this is differing than at the last plan, the adoption, the Plan Commission ran it. We held the meetings and everything. So this is going to be different this time. Well, we will in essence be reviewing the product of this commission.
Right, and in this case, I don't know, what was their consultant hired last time? I didn't believe so.
It was led by Oliver Bishop, who
Right.
had some expertise in the area.
But there was community involvement, as I recall.
Oh, we had very many meetings.
So
That was held by the Plan Commission, though.
this takes the groundwork out of this commission's hands, but not the important review aspects of it.
I see, okay. Just so I know what's expected of us. Any commission members have anything? Right offhand, I fail to look. When I talked to Mr. Anderson over on 60th Street, do we know what that is zoned for over there? Is that an R3 or?
R1 property.
That is an R1 for the lot width, because he was expressing concern about the vacant properties that were still there and as per the perchance of subdividing them into the smallest lot. And he said a lot of people are of the opinion that they would like the larger lots, much as what we did on 64th Street over east of Cass.
By Richmond.
By Richmond there.
Yeah, those are the R1As.
Mr.
the
Anderson's
R1As.
property is kind of an island unto itself. The adjacent zoning that's village property is R3. It's Fairfield subdivision. So when it was annexed, it probably left at the default classification of R1 because it met those bulk standards. But to the north and to the south, it's also zoned R3, which is the smaller lot size.
I see. Okay, well, that was just a concern that the gentleman expressed to me, and figured I'd mention it. Okay, no other comments? A motion to adjourn? Oh, I'm sorry, Roy, please.
No, no comment. I
Oh.
was just looking over what you were talking there.
So moved.
Second.
That's motion by Commissioner Thomas, seconded by Commissioner Anton. All in favor, say by aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.